I am the founder of Paragon Training Methods, which is an online workout and fitness community. And so, man, 15 freaking years. It's like back in high school, actually, if we dial it way back in time, I was a competitive gymnast, big athlete all my life. So, I ran track, did volleyball, did gymnastics from the time I was 5 up and through high school. And so, long story short, it's like I had never experienced struggling with my body, stressing over the food that I was eating because, it's like when you're so freaking active, it's like I love like thinking back on this and be like, what'd your nutrition look like in junior high and high school? And you're like, hell yeah, rolling through Taco Bell and McDonald's, right? Like get freaking some. And so, here I was in high school. I'd never stressed over my body, never stressed over food or anything like that. And so I was 17 or 18 years old and suddenly just felt like dog shit. And so I was sleeping upwards of 10 to 12 hours a night. And then actually as like things went on, like I started missing school because it'd be like I was just so tired, so fatigued. And that was thankfully, when my parents took me to the doctor, to get things tested out. Can you tell I'm nervous? Dear God. But so, I went to basically get some blood work, see a doctor, get things checked out because at the end of the day, it's like I was really, really tired. I was sleeping, 10 to 12 hours a night. But for the first time ever, here I was suddenly gaining weight, struggling with my body composition, feeling really uncomfortable in my skin. And so did some testing and turned out I was... Ooh,
that's my fault. That's my fault. Wow. My bad.
Forgot the silence.
Yeah, my bad. That's my bad. The spam callers, man. The spam callers.
It's bad. It's fine. But so I ended up being diagnosed with hypothyroidism. Basically, that is a disorder. It revolves around the gland in your neck. And so your thyroid regulates everything to your body temperature, your sleep, your mood, obviously going to be heavily connected to your menstrual cycle, your hormones, all that stuff. And so, felt like dog shit, got prescribed medication, but ultimately I didn't feel better. My doctor didn't really offer any advice or where things to go from there other than like, hey, pop a pill, take this thing. And so it was right around the time that, I was about to go off to college. And so kind of stepped back and went like, okay, well, ultimately, if my doctor can't help me feel better, I need to be the CEO of my own health. And, what can I do to kind of get to the bottom of this and, figure out how to feel better? And so ended up doing a degree and got my bachelor's in food nutrition dietetics. Turns out, for those that don't know, I'm from Bloomington Normal, Illinois, which if you looked on a map, if you basically go to the bumfuck middle of Illinois, where there's cornfields, there's bring your tractor.
I gotta go there sometime at some point.
I mean, you can do everything there is to see there by, probably 2 hours in.
Yeah.
But so, it's like I decided to pursue a degree in nutrition. And so turns out, I was always one of those kids. I knew I wanted to move to a big city, thought I'd like go off to Chicago or Seattle or, somewhere cool. And then turned out Illinois State, like literally walking distance from my dad's house, had one of the best nutrition dietetics programs. And so grinded, I actually spent 5 years, doing college, but basically got my degree. And so when I got into college, I quickly realized that everything in the nutrition dietetic space was super outdated. And so here we are still.
It kind of still is.
Oh, and it still is. It's like my boyfriend Charlie was actually kind of playing around with, maybe I'll go to school for nutrition too. And it's like, I'm like, I graduated in 2013. I went off to college in 2008. But, here we are still, again, it's about to be 2023. And it's like all of his classes were actually the literal same, where it was like talking about food pyramid, talking about, all these outdated things. And so I spent so much of my college also just like having a life crisis because I was like, okay, I thought I was going to, learn stuff here. And I thought that I was going to be able to also help people in a similar position of just struggling with food, struggling with their body, thought I would be like equipped and, armed to do that. And then, well, shit, turns out like I actually knew, especially like later in college, I knew more about nutrition than was actually being pushed in school and stuff. So it's like, I always joke, and still my parents give me shit to this day, but it's like, how many weekends I would call and just like cry to my parents and be like, yo, like, this isn't it. Like, I need, we need an abort mission or something. They'd be like, dude, just like get the paper and we'll figure it out. And so I graduated in 2013, got my degree. And so my like escape plan was that I had discovered lifting and strength training and CrossFit in college. And so I was like super amped about like the CrossFit world, the weight training and stuff, because it's like I had spent so much of my college experience just being at war with my body and struggling to figure out the nutritional things I need to do to just help myself feel better. And so it was like, okay, what's the game plan? And my game plan was like, well, hey, mom and dad, I know you just let me go to college. I'm going to go be a CrossFit coach and coach group classes, right? And so I mean, hey,
like, what the fuck?
Like, yeah, no, like totally, like there goes all that money, and you're going to do this, like what? But so hey, you got to roll. So I moved to Dallas 2 weeks after I graduated college. Helped open up a CrossFit gym called CrossFit Big D. And so I was about it, right? Because in my head, I was like, okay, I'm still helping people. If I can give people the best hour of their day, if I can, help them, have a really, really awesome hour in the gym, well, how many other things does that apply to in life? And, where can that go? And so fast forward over time, ended up coaching with CrossFit gymnastics seminar staff. I was super passionate about like the competitive CrossFit side of things. And so it was natural that, I'd go on and aim to go to CrossFit regionals. And so sure enough, competed in 2016. And so I ended up tearing my shoulder during the snatch ladder. And so it kind of made me also just reevaluate like, yo, what am I doing? Also, like here I'm getting into my mid 20s and like, what's my long-term game plan here? Like, what are we doing? Because like, anybody that's coached any sort of fitness or group fitness classes, like it is a passion project. It is not one that like also pays well and does, you're not going to be 40 years old and probably still, coaching classes and getting by. It's like, you'd have to be hustling. You'd have to have multiple jobs and stuff like that. And so I ended up, getting back into nutrition coaching and doing one-on-one coaching. Ended up working for a really big nutrition coaching company as their director of education.
When did you start, by the way?
So the thing is, it's like I kind of started, it would have been 2007, 2008 is when I, it's like I literally made waves. Like, well, every like, no, totally. It's like ADHD level 5,000. It's like I get really hyped about something, and that's like I still joke about like Charlie these days, where I'm like, dang, I'm like not loyal to a lot of things, but like we're still here. Like hell yeah. But so it's like, and that was right around the time that I actually met you. Was that 2017 time frame when I was working for I Am 3 Nutrition and do all the coaching stuff. And so, if we kind of fast forward present day, it's like, it's cool because all of the things that I did, ended up coming full circle. In 2018, I started working for myself. I launched my own nutrition coaching business rather than, before I was always just working for other people. But mutually I'd be like, yo, but why do we do things this way? Or like, why would we ever, do X, Y, Z? And so it makes sense that, if you know me present day, it's like, I'm so strong opinioned and, just very like my way or the highway. And so it would make sense that I would go on to, be a business owner, launch my own thing. So 2018 is when I officially started working for myself. I was doing one-on-one coaching. That was the same year that we launched Paragon training methods. And the reason for that was, here I was seeing the same thing over and over with people where it'd be like, well, damn, like I can give the best nutrition advice in the world, but like if your exercise blows or you're doing random ass shit, like I can't help you maximize that, right? It's like as many variables as we can control, like that's when we, the secret sauce to things. But also it was like, especially coming off of competitive CrossFit, tearing my shoulder, having surgery, all of that stuff. It's like, I've learned so many freaking things the hard way. And that really brings it back to like why I'm so excited to finally be launching this podcast. Is it's like, I learned so many things the hard way. And how do I help people skip the learning curve? How do I help people, not go through all the pain and the agony that I experienced? Because literally it's like from everything from bad diets to, it's like if I really look back from the time I like graduated college all the way up through like even my late 20s, it's like I wasn't eating enough food. I was training too freaking much, just doing the most, like quite literally, to the point where it was like, fuck, man, like the number of years I was training 5, 6, 7 days a week and like just living under this more is better, hashtag no rest days as, this badge of honor. Right. So it's like, how, and that was so greatly intertwined with why I wanted to work for myself. Is like, okay, as we're posting to social media and doing these things, it's like, well, if I can put out content for free, and Instagram was just that, right? It's like this avenue that you can post little blogs or you can post little pieces of content. And so you're giving tips about nutrition and fitness. And it was just so cool to be able to reach thousands, quite literally, thousands of people over time. And so I started posting to social media, things started to take off. And so ironically, Barbell Shrugged was actually my very first, podcast episode. Like shout out to Doug and the whole gang, because it's like that really projected, me kind of into everything. And so, over the past, it's been like 4.5 years. So over the past, 4.5 years of working for myself, it's like I've been on, live TV with Fox News. I've been, published in magazines. Obviously, I've just put out thousands and thousands of social media posts and videos and all this stuff over the years of just, again, it's like, little snippets and little things that, hey, put this into practice, go do these things. And so like, how cool is it also though, that again, it's like social media afforded me the opportunity to meet so many people just like you. And, here we are doing the thing, fast forward present day. So it's just really, it's so cool to look back on because again, it's like present day, I have such a healthy relationship with the way I eat, the way I exercise, the way I live life. And it's like you have to sometimes go through the extremes to get there. And definitely, it's like, man, like I remember way back in the day when we used to hang out.
I remember when I first met you. Like it was, I mean, like